Yes, sir. Who's on the phone with us today?
Hey, this is Guy Wolcott from Homesnap.
Guy?
Yep,
Oh, Guy. Are you the CEO?
I am.
Oh, cool. All right. So, Homesnap.
If you want to sue us, then no.
What's that?
Unless you want to sue us, then no, it's somebody else.
No. Why? Are you having problems?
No.
Okay, good. All right. So, did we introduce ourselves?
We did
yet?
not.
Oh, I'm Jim Lowenstern.
And I'm Diana Doherty. Welcome to the show, Guy.
Hey, well, thank you for having me.
Let's talk about Homesnap. What's Homesnap?
Great. Well, thanks for having me. Homesnap is a mobile app for real estate, and we launched about 2.5 years ago. Homesnap's now one of the top 5 apps for real estate in the App Store. We have about 5 million people a month that use Homesnap all across the country. We're known for two main things over the life of the product. One is having really excellent real estate data, and two is a feature that lets you take a snap of any house in the country to find out all about it. And that's actually where the name came from. So we've been, it became a very popular app across the country with consumers. And the most recent thing that we've done is we launched a version that's just for real estate agents called Homesnap Pro. That's becoming pretty popular with agents.
Pretty cool. So what kind of data comes out when you take the picture? What kind of information do you get?
Yeah, so you're getting basically we combine a whole bunch of different data sets to give you kind of a unique set of information, right? So we start with tax record data, so we know something about every single house, basic facts, beds, baths, square footage, how much it sold for the last time it sold. We also bring in things like schools, what schools you would go to if you lived here. We know information about those schools. We bring in things like the lot boundaries. You can see all the neighboring houses. You can see what people paid for those houses. You can see pictures of those houses. But if the house is for sale, then you'll see the complete listing of that house. So you'll see all the interior pictures, all the facts about the house. You can ask to go tour the house or see it. If the house sold yesterday, you'll see the sales price, and you can see how long it took to sell and what they sold for, and did they have to drop the price. You go over to your friend's new house for a dinner party. You can take a picture of it on the way in and see what they paid for it.
So, let me just think about this for a moment. Does it have anything to do with the actual photo being taken, or it's just the GPS in the smart device?
You want to know all the secret sauce, huh? It is a combination of things, but primarily it's sensor-based. And this is all kind of in our patent filing, so it's not really secret. Basically, the idea is when you take the picture, we're capturing all the sensor information from your phone in addition to the picture. So we're capturing the GPS information. But if you think about it, if I'm standing on a residential street, there's houses in every direction. So just knowing where you're standing isn't enough to get it right. You have to combine that with the other sensor information. So we're looking at things like the magnetometer, which is the pieces that make up the compass, the accelerometers, which are the things that track movement with your phone, like when you shake your phone, and the gyroscopes, which are the movement when you twist your phone. Think of that marble game that you play when you roll the marble around on your phone. So we're tracking all those sensors, and we look at all of them at the moment that you take the picture, and the idea is we're figuring out where your phone is and where you're aiming your phone at the moment that you take the picture. The picture itself is just sort of a tiebreaker. So if our system can't figure out from all the sensor data if it's house A or house B, then we have the ability to potentially compare the pictures and see if it looks more like house A or house B to break the tie. But we're not doing facial recognition for pictures across every house in the country, which would be pretty much impossible given how similar they all look.
So this is a behavior that is new to the human being, or have we always wanted this, and thank God you came up with it?
Well, I'm going to say B for sure. I think it's one of those things that I'll tell you kind of the inspiration for it, and then you can judge for yourself. So for me, the inspiration was Shazam. So Shazam was the first app on my first iPhone that had apps that seemed new and different and unique to me, and sort of showed off what a mobile device could do that your browser on your computer couldn't, other than being mobile. So Shazam, you probably know, you just hold your phone up to a song, it tells you what the song is. So it's using the sensors on your phone and a kind of big brain in the sky to answer a question about the real world. And I think that's kind of a magical feeling thing that's more satisfying than me Googling the lyrics of the same song. It still produces the same answer, but it's a much different feeling about the technology. And so that was the feeling that we were going for. We wanted to create, Shazam for homes. So you aim your camera at this house, and we'll tell you all about the real world with our big brain in the sky.
Can you get us the owner's telephone number so we can call them and see if they want to listen?
No, that's not part of the app. That's not part of the app right now, which would start to move into the creepy zone, especially in terms of consumers and so forth.
Leave it to Jim. Right in the creepy zone. Okay, so a consumer goes into a neighborhood, they do a snap. I guess home picture or homephoto.com wasn't available, so you settled on Snap?
Well, those also sound kind of lame.
Oh, okay.
Snappy is,
Okay, so
snap is snappy.
Snap is better.
Snappy.
Okay.
You're
So-
welcome to them.
Okay, so they take a snap,
Competitive app.
and now they know everything about the house. Why do they want to know everything about the house?
Well, it's all different reasons, right? I mean, why do people want to know about homes on the internet generally, right? It's a whole bunch of different
Well,
reasons.
probably because they're for sale.
People who are serious home shoppers, right, who are trying to find out about a house is for sale or might be for sale. They might want to know what a house just sold for down the street from their own house while they're out walking the dog. They might want to know what their friend just paid for their house. They might want to know when they're traveling what are houses like here in Austin when I'm here for the week. So there's all kinds of reasons that people want to know that. I mean, I should point out that people use HomeSnap for a lot more than just taking pictures of houses. That was kind of the cool killer feature that gave it its name. But it's got most people that use it are using it sitting on their couch or in their car or on the.
So how does it work on the sofa?
Right, so it works much more like a traditional real estate app where you've got you can search by criteria or by map,
Okay.
search by address.
Okay, so this
Location.
is not much different than the other portals. I hesitate to use the names Trillian, Zillow, and Realtor.com, and
Well, the big difference is that
but
we have
you have the GPS component.
Well, we have better data, right? I mean, the thing that, so for example, the reason that so many agents use HomeSnap and the reason that we launched HomeSnap Pro is built around having complete MLS data. So when your clients are using HomeSnap and you're using our Pro version, your clients are seeing full MLS data that you would give them, not just syndicated data that they get from the big portal sites that you're unwilling to name. So it's not just like those things. It's like if you took those sites and put inside them super accurate real-time MLS data with your agent only in there, right? Not just whatever agent's paying for those zip codes.
Okay.
If you could give your client a version of that had the data that you see in the MLS and only your picture over on the side.
How is that different than okay? So I have a real estate company. I have my own website. I suggest to my buyer, or I put my buyer on my website, and they're only going to see our logo, our agent's faces, or my face, or whatever. It's similar to that, correct?
Well, it's
where
in the captive audience. I mean, what we find is that lots and lots of consumers don't stay there because those apps and those sites are not nearly as good as the portal sites that you're talking about.
Okay.
But as much as you tell them to go use those things, they don't really do it. I mean, when we look at the download statistics for white label apps, they're basically nothing. Clients don't download and use these kind of white label IDX apps that people are buying, so they end up kind of just being a vanity project. So we're trying to give you the benefits of that, which are your personal brand in the app and a direct connection to your clients inside an app that they'll actually stick with and use. So when they go download HomeSnap, they're getting an app that has thousands of reviews, 5-star reviews, that has a reputation and that has the features and functionality that will keep them there, and still has just your personal brand inside it and a direct connection to you.
Yeah. So how does that work?
The HomeSnap Pro. Is that what you're asking? How that works?
Yeah.
Yeah. How does that work?
How do we get our information on it? And does it say HomeSnap, or does it say we have a company called Castles Unlimited. Would it have our logo on it? How does it work?
Right. So first of all, let's just quickly talk about Homesnap Pro because it'll make more sense. So Homesnap Pro is our agent-only version that has complete MLS data, right? It has everything that agents normally have to go to the web to see, including showing instructions, including commission splits, agent-only information, including contact information for all the other agents, including histories for every house and all the past listings. So Homesnap Pro only exists when we partner with an MLS. So we've partnered with 10 or 12 MLSs around the country, including several very large ones.
MLS PIN in New England, are you with them?
MLS PIN we are not yet with them, and if Homesnap Pro sounds interesting to you, I would encourage you to contact them and tell them that you're interested in it. I would tell you that in the markets that we are, Homesnap Pro is widely used. So in the Mid-Atlantic area, almost half of the agents who do business here are using Homesnap Pro after just being launched a few months ago. So we're hopeful that MLS PIN will make it available to its agents, soon.
Yeah, as far as I know, MLS PIN has an app.
They do have an app, yes.
Yeah, does it work? I mean, I don't really use it. I think I tried it once or
I
twice.
tried to do it it didn't work, no. It didn't work on my phone.
So what you're saying is you've created something that works, and we should probably try to get it.
Yeah, I mean, I think MLS PIN, this is the kind of thing that MLS PIN would want to be able to make available to its members.
And what does it cost?
It's free. So it's free to you, the member, and we've tried to make it very, very inexpensive for the MLS to be able to provide it, but the idea is that they make it part of their core services. So if you look at all the markets where it's offered, it's completely free to you as a member. You get the full functionality at no cost. It's free to your clients to use. And you're also getting all of the leads that come off of our public-facing app and site. So you get your face is on all of your listings, and you get those leads for free. So that's part of it too.
So I saw you have some brokers. I mean, I may actually be there. I was emailing with someone with your organization, and they sort of indicated that I was there. Was that something that I signed up for and I forgot, or?
Probably. We didn't. If we didn't know you, we couldn't have you there. So,
okay.
But without Homesnap Pro, we can only show agents that have a relationship with us. But once we have a relationship with the MLS and offer Homesnap Pro, it's fully your listing, your lead. So every listing has the listing agent's either name or profile picture. The lead goes directly to them. So we deliver thousands of free leads to the listing agents in the MLS markets where Homesnap Pro is available.
And what do you charge the MLS system? What kind of fees do they have to pay?
It's not necessarily something that we publicize, and the idea is that it's kind of an MLS by MLS decision. So it's not very expensive, but I don't want to be too exacting about what it is, because it's probably a little bit different for different size MLSs.
Okay. Do you have a question, Brian?
No, that seems pretty interesting and cool, if it works.
Yeah, I mean, I think the idea is, this is where why we came up with this, is agents are mobile. And I guarantee you that almost all the agents use their phone a lot to do all kinds of different things, from Facebook to Twitter to email to messaging to using it as a phone, to internet access. They just don't use it to access MLS data, which is sort of bizarre, since that's a key thing that they need to do to make their job, to do their jobs, right?
Right.
And so what we wanted to do is combine all the cool stuff that comes from being a member of MLS PIN, let's say, which is super accurate data, real time, looking into the past, seeing things that consumers aren't allowed to see, and being able to share it effectively with your clients. Combine all that with the consumer sensibility of a high-quality mobile app, and that's what was missing. So that's the combination that we were trying to create with Homesnap Pro.
So it sounds more like, I guess it's realtor-friendly app that realtors are going to actually use and feel okay about sending a link to this app to their clients?
It's an app. The client downloads the app on their phone, so they have their application that they just press on their phone.
Yeah, right.
And it
It is
opens
an
up.
app, but it's connected to you. So
And
you
it's
do
connected.
send them an invitation. It's pretty easy. So I'll tell you, the agents here in our home MLS here is called MRIS. It's the second largest one in the country. We have over 14,000 MRIS agents using HomeSnap Pro in just a few months, and they've invited over 500,000 of their clients and contacts to join them. So that's a pretty big number.
Sure.
Pretty cool.
Those people are getting an invitation to download the app, and when they do, they're automatically connected to the agent that invited them.
As opposed if they went on to, I don't know if it's the Apple Store or wherever they would download it, and then you see the more public version of it.
Correct. So if you do that, then you're going to see the listing agent, for example, on active listings.
It didn't seem to me like it was the listing agent. It seemed like it was more. Well, I was looking at it on a desktop, and so.
But we also haven't launched what we're talking about there. So this is, I'm telling you how it works once we launch HomeSnap Pro. It's kind of all a package.
Okay.
Um,
So homesnap.com. So if you're on a laptop or a desktop, that's a different product,
No,
basically.
it works the same. Everything will be the same. So the listing agent would be seen by consumers who come from scratch, but all of your clients will only see you. Again, this is what happens once we launch HomeSnap Pro with a particular MLS. So you're seeing it right now before that's happened in Boston.
So where are you getting that data? Where are you getting the raw data for those listings?
Well, we have lower level data than we would have. We have kind of IDX level data before we launch HomeSnap Pro, and then we have pro level data that would be comparable to what you would get as.
So you're getting it from like List Hub or something like that?
Exactly.
Okay. So I took a look at it on a laptop, and so 3 agents are coming up on the page with a long list of listings under it for a particular zip code. And so it seemed like when I was moving the cursor over the different agents, their information popped up. But when I was looking at it, it wasn't intuitive to me what I was doing until I clicked around a little bit. How does a broker get on that page, and of course be in the first position because all your information comes up in that position, you know?
Yeah. So there's really once we launch HomeSnap Pro with a particular market, the listing agent is the only agent on that slot up there, right? So there's no competition on a listing. If you're looking at other homes that aren't for sale, they're all in there. And you're talking about things that are more like listing leads, right?
No, it's so it's just the bar. It's asking you for a zip code or an address, and I put in 02459 Newton Center, Massachusetts, and 3 agents came up. One agent, I believe, worked for an office 20 miles away. You know, she might want to sell in this area, but I never heard of her. The other one worked maybe about 10 miles away. So
you're sort of comparing apples and oranges here, which is
right.
You're looking at it before we launch the thing that we're talking about.
Okay.
So it's kind of hard for me to defend.
I'll play with it.
We'll
have you back on the show after I play with it.
Yeah. So we haven't launched HomeSnap Pro with MLS PIN yet. We would very much like to. And once that happens, we would have the information to show the listing agent on every listing, which is what we do, and on other homes nearby, right, homes that are not listings, that are not for sale, they're just property records out of the tax records. We show agents who do business nearby, right, who have listings nearby, who snap homes nearby. We show their profiles, and so that's a way for them to get listing leads, right, as opposed to buyer leads.
Mm-hmm.
And again, they're all free, so we're not charging any agents for those leads. They're getting them just for having a listing or using the app. So they're not paying anything for the app. They're not paying anything for the leads. It all just happens.
Sounds good. Free's good. Free's good.
Free's good.
So what's my referral fee for lobbying on your behalf and getting you hooked up with MLS PIN?
I will give you a 50% of all the fees that we collect from agents, which if you mention, you realize is not high compensation. So
50% of nothing.
it's zero.
You're gonna get 50% of
Free.
0. Wow, that's a high percentage. Thank you.
So if you think
You
of
should
it-
try for 51%.
I wouldn't try for 100%. Okay, so any other questions? No? No question? Oh, I have a question. So, I paid someone called Houseline. They've got something that's supposed to be an app. Do you know anything about Houseline?
I have to admit, I do not.
Okay.
The thing with apps is that if you look at, I mean, the comparison is this. If you think about the website, the web world of the last 10 years, if I said, hey, I've got the 50th most trafficked real estate website in the country, you would probably think, well, that's pretty good. Like, that must have a lot of users.
No, I would think no one's using it.
And, well, no, the 50th biggest website is still pretty significant. And that might be, who knows, it might be the Caldwell Banker site. I have no idea. And it gets, hundreds of thousands, if not millions of people using it. On the mobile, if I said the 50th largest real estate app, literally nobody uses it. So all of the activity in mobile is in the top 5 or 6 apps that have hundreds of thousands and millions of downloads and users. And so having an app that's farther down that list is basically useless because nobody's downloading it, nobody's using it. It's essentially just a vanity project where you're doing it to say I have an app.
Right.
It doesn't functionally help you.
No, the photo part of it isn't as exciting for me as the part where now there's an app on the phone where I can actually get my sort of my back end MLS data
Yes.
right there and have it look a little bit better.
Then
The two, Al
searching
Wilcott was
through.
far more impressed with the fact that you could take a picture of it. So to each his own.
Yeah, the picture, I don't know about the picture. I think that's cute. I think it's probably meaningful in some situations, but I probably would
Well, I agree with you, but
never use
here's a
it.
good example why it is valuable, which is it's valuable for the reason you just said. It's not necessarily valuable because you're going to do it hundreds of times a week. Although I'll tell you that our pro users, it's the second most common thing that they do. But with that said, the reason it's powerful is if you want to send Homesnap out to 1,000 of your contacts, right? Only a few of those people are actively looking for homes. The reason 14,000 agents in the DC area have invited 500,000 clients and consumers is because the app is more than just an IDX active listing search app. It does this other cool stuff. However you just described it as.
And it's personally branded to them.
That's what people want. It might not be what you want, but that's what the people in your address book want.
But Guy, it's personally branded to the agent that sends it to them.
Yeah, correct.
Yeah, that's the cool part.
that is cool.
They got their photo, their name, their company logo, everything on
Correct.
the app.
Yeah.
It's great.
That's good, and it's free.
There's a chance that those people will actually use it. I mean, because sending it to people who aren't in the market, sending your IDX app out to people who aren't in the market for a house has no benefit to you. They're not going to use it.
So let me talk about the 800-pound gorillas for a moment. You're like a 100-pound gorilla. You're like a chimp,
Thank
right? But you're getting there. What about Trulia and Zillow? Did they see you and say, wow, we can do that too, and no big deal? Or are they concerned because you have a patent?
Well, I mean, I think
What
there's
should we expect from them to, sort of counter your initiative?
Sure, I don't know. I mean, we do, so it probably shouldn't. But that's not something we sit around and worry about. I mean, I think we're in a very different business, right? Those guys are trying to get a gajillion eyeballs and sell back impressions on your listings to agents. We are trying to create an agent-friendly environment that has tools that agents themselves will use. And to me, that's the big difference, right? Those guys are not making tools that agents use themselves.
Yeah, they're not making friends either.
Right, but even that's part of the reason is they're not making anything that you want to use.
Right.
All they're doing is trying to sell you spots on your own listings back to you, right?
What do you think of the whole reviews and number of transactions and all those metrics on the profiles on these sites? Because
I
on your site it does exist.
Yeah. I mean, I feel like as long as the agent is doing it on purpose and wants to have those things, I don't see anything wrong with it. I think the system is never going to work where it happens automatically and the agent doesn't have some level of control over it. And so when we've talked about features like that on Homesnap Pro, we always talk about them as something that's optional, where the agent can get reviews from the clients that they want. They can monitor them. I mean, it's not there's not some government agency who needs to be automatically reviewing every real estate transaction.
Right. So MLS PIN, for example, is not part of Homesnap yet, but yet when I looked at my area outside of Boston, I see agents that have the reviews already on Homesnap, and they already have numbers of transactions. The reviews I get, they're asking presumably past clients to write reviews for them. But for transaction numbers, if it's not already pulling that information from MLS, how are those numbers getting there?
Well, in this case, for those individual agents, we're able to do that, but it's not for the whole. It's not for the whole market, if that makes sense, right? Just for the people that are already in there.
So if I sign up, you're able to pull my MLS data.
Correct.
I see. Okay. I'm good.
And what we're moving towards the Homesnap Pro is where we'd have all the data and it would be available to all the agents automatically for free.
Excellent. Okay.
Guy, thank you so much for calling in.
Thank
Hopefully
you,
we'll
Guy.
get you to MLS PIN.
Yeah.
right, well,
I'm looking for that referral. Thank you. And we'll have you on again someday.
Well,
For sure.
after we get MLS PIN on board, we can have it'll all make a lot more sense, and we can have another conversation.
Okay, fantastic. Thank you, and have a nice holiday season.
You do the same.
Okay.
Thanks.
Bye.
That's cool.
Yeah,
I think
interesting.
that's cool. I think that little picture thing is just a kind of, like you said, it's a cool thing, catchy.
It's like Zillow's
Yeah.
estimate kind of
It's
thing.
estimate type of thing, yeah. It's more cool for maybe the
It's
clients
almost like a Pinterest kind of thing.
Yeah.
But the
but
real
the
important
data,
thing
the
is
MLS data, the
it
public
gives
records, that's
realtors an app that works.
yes.
I know, and I hate to say it because I'm a shareholder with MLS PIN. But
Yeah.
I just go to the browser.
I just go to the browser too,
And actually, I
and
probably
you're
go to my laptop because it's
easier. But I still use it on my phone just because that's what I have with me.
yeah, if you're in the car.
Yeah.
So,
Well, what do you want to talk about?
I would love to talk about the amount of success we're having with our show being edited and blogged about. Our video editor Aisha
does
is
a
doing
great
a
job.
great job, and for like ActiveRain.com, for example, we're actually getting I don't know if it's viewership or listenership, but something.
Feedback.
They're actually paying attention because I was called out on, was I giving legal advice or something like that.
Oh, really?
I'm not sure they really listened to it, but they asked if I was a licensed attorney.
Oh,
And then we had that discussion about the kind of car that a real estate
Yes.
agent drives.
if it mattered what type of car they drove.
And they said it does not matter, it shouldn't matter, they just want to make sure the agent's a good agent.
Yeah, that's good.
Yeah, well, that's an opinion.
Yes.
We like opinions. We didn't even mention our phone number today.
We didn't get to do it. We didn't mention how
We jumped
our
right-
holiday spirit we have.
Yes, we got the hats on. I went over the hat. You
I went under
the hat. Two different styles of wearing the hats.
So if you'd like to call us, you can call us at 1-800-967-3561. You can follow us on Facebook at, where are we?
You know,
I don't know by heart. it's Real Estate on Sunday on
There you
Facebook.
go.
That's right.
Facebook.com/
And then you can listen to us live at mixlr.com/real-estate-on-Sunday, and follow us on Twitter
Yeah, and YouTube.
and YouTube.
YouTube, lots of
We-
YouTubes.
I know that they've been following some of the Facebook postings too. I know
Oh,
people
good.
have been watching those.
Good. Do we have any questions from? Or we wanted to talk about.
We're going to talk about why you should put your house on the market
Yes, keep
in
it
the winter.
on the market or keep it on the market.
Yes.
Right? If it's listed right now.
So there's
During
5
the
basic
holidays.
reasons. One is demand is strong. There's buyers out there. What do you think?
I think it's the best time of year to buy. If I was a buyer, I would want to buy this time of year.
And there's less competition from other buyers, because not that people sometimes put off buying for the holidays.
Right, less
So
competition.
maybe you're-
Absolutely. Well,
Maybe you can negotiate a better price because there's not multiple offers.
the prices have probably come down a little bit over time. They might have put them on last year
Yep.
or early this year, and the people that have their listings on the market right now, this is December 2014, they really want to sell.
They want to sell.
You know, if they're like, well, whatever, we'll put it back on in the spring, those people don't have as much of an urgent
Motivation to
need.
sell.
Yeah. So you're dealing with motivated sellers.
And the process can be quicker in the winter because people aren't bogged down with too many transactions.
Fewer
Banks.
closings.
Yep, fewer closings. Banks are.
Attorneys are able to actually read the offer,
That's.
do the purchase and sell correctly. Yeah, mortgage brokers
Mortgage
have a little
have
more
less-
time. They can do it faster.
You'll get the royal treatment.
Yeah.
And it's a good time to move up too. It's a good time to switch your property, sell, and move up,
Okay.
upgrade.
How do you figure that?
Well, if you're moving to a larger, more expensive home, they're saying you can consider doing it now because prices are projected to appreciate over time. To like this data that I have says
Oh,
it's
I
going
see.
to go up.
I see what you're saying. You're like if you were renting. I mean,
Yeah.
if all things were equal, you were selling and buying, it wouldn't make a difference. But
Yeah.
if you're renting, yeah, because you're buying at probably a better price. In the spring, typically prices jump a little bit.
A little bit, yes.
More competition.
And sometimes it's just time to move. It's time to make a move because of life.
And who doesn't want to move during the cold months? And,
Movers might be easier to get to.
right, movers are probably hungry
Yeah.
and have more time.
So there's lots of reasons.
Is that 5?
That was 5.
That was it?
That's it.
All right. Anything else? Questions?
So we had one. I had this one
Let's do
from the
one.
website.
Let's
One
do one, yeah.
said their listing agent said that she had an offer but never had it in writing. They're asking if it was legal or not. So because you
This is-
are
this
a
is-
legal attorney.
This is actually a licensed salesperson?
Yes, it was. They did mention a company.
Uh-huh. So I'm going to let you answer this one.
Well, you have to present everything to the seller in writing that you get
You
in
said
writing.
it wasn't in writing.
This one wasn't in writing, so it's really a non-offer. It's not an offer. It has to be in writing.
You got it.
So
It's not an offer.
it's not an offer.
It sounds like an offer. But
It
it's
sounds
not
like
an
it,
offer.
but it's not.
It's not. Clearly not.
It needs to be in writing.
And it needs to have, what do they call it? A valuable consideration.
And a date.
Well, and signatures, yes.
Signatures.
It's got to have a lot of things, but
Yeah.
yeah, okay.
Okay.
I have a question.
Okay.
I'm just going to make this one up.
Okay.
It's not off the internet. Let's say that you are the listing broker, and a broker brings in a couple buyers and introduces them as Steve and Mary. And then you're never really paying any attention to their last name, comes in on the offer, it's just scribbles, you know, you look at the check and you go, oh yeah. And then the seller brings up an interesting point. He says, is the buyer related to the selling broker, the buyer's broker?
Oh, the
because
buyer's
they have
broker.
the same last name. Now, it was never disclosed.
Mhm.
Okay? So the question is, I know that when you're listing your own
Selling,
property,
yeah.
for example, or you're listing your parents' property or your sister, you put,
Agent is related to seller.
Right. Is it the same thing? There's a relationship there, or does it not matter because
If they're a buyer.
a buyer's broker is representing the buyer anyway? I mean, does it matter?
I think it used to matter when we had more selling agents, when the seller's agents were the ones,
Sub-agents.
when we had sub-agents. You had to disclose whether or not you were
And
with a
now
relative.
you don't think it's as
Well, I think you should, I feel like you should, why not just say, hey, this is
disclose
my.
it anyway.
Yeah, just disclose it.
Is it actionable after the fact if someone says, well, you didn't disclose it ever, and it wasn't in the offer, and it wasn't in the purchase and sale agreement? And then,
I don't think it's actionable. I think that it's something that is good to know, but I don't think it's an actionable, because the buyer's broker is representing the best interest of the buyer,
Right.
regardless.
Right.
So I say I treat all my clients like family. Every single one of them.
Yes. Well,
That's what I do.
Well, of course. What else? Do we have one more question? We can do one more.
So we can do one more. So someone asked online, when buying a house, what's important and what's nitpicking? So is there such thing as nitpicking when it comes to purchasing a house?
New construction or a resale?
I think either, both.
I think the answer is always yes and no. The buyer's always right. You've heard that.
Yeah.
The customer's always right. How would you answer that
I
question?
feel like there's, it depends on the buyer. I think that they can, if it's important to them, then you got to deal with it.
And then the seller can always say, you know
No,
what,
yeah.
I can't deal with you.
Yes.
You're
The seller
too
can
much
decide.
for me.
Yeah, the seller can decide yes or
I'm
no.
not changing the color of my door.
Yes.
I'm not, whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I just thought it was.
Nitpicking, as it's properly pronounced, is part of our business.
Yes.
Yes, we deal with it every day.
We can call it nitpicking, but regardless, it gets presented to the seller, and
Do you have an example of nitpicking?
well, I mean, some people think when they say, "Oh, don't nitpick on the inspection." I have agents that say that to me all the time. Like, this is the bottom line. No nitpicking on the inspection. And my answer is always, I'm not going to waive my buyer's rights to their home inspection.
Right.
That's it. And then they answer, well, of course, they can have the home inspection, but they just can't
For
nitpick.
informational purposes only.
Yes.
Right?
Well, it's not, unless you say
But
it's
everything
as
is
it
negotiable.
Everything's
So even
negotiable.
if it's written right in the listing that,
Yeah.
inspection is for informational purposes only, it's still whatever is negotiated between the two parties.
Yes.
I just had a sale where it was supposed to close at the end of December, and I knew the buyer wasn't going to close until the end of January. And, it was hard, fast, that's it. If you don't close at the end of December, we're going to go with another buyer. It's closing at the end of
It's-
January. Yes, it is. And that's maybe not nitpicking, but that's, how things are negotiated.
Yes.
It's just two parties at the end. They could have said no, but the offer was good enough, so they inconvenienced themselves.
Yes.
She's pregnant, delivering in a couple of weeks. She's gonna, I guess, have a newborn when she moves. I don't know why anybody would want to move 9 months pregnant. Either way, it's not good, but.
Yes, that timing might be tough.
All right, I don't know, we got off track there.
I know.
All right, so this was probably not our only holiday party.
Okay.
It's, what is it? It's a show, it's not a party.
It's like a party,
It's
right?
So that was a long show. This was Real Estate on Sunday. I'm Jim Lowenstern.
I'm Diana Doherty.
We
Thank
had
you
a great time today. We're glad you joined us.
Know your dreams.
Live your dreams. Happy holidays.